Hey guys, Ed here, and this is my Friday pickup video, which I have to admit was shaping up to be a pretty lousy pickup video this week, until a couple of things happened that I think make it a little more interesting, so I'll actually do one now. Most of the stuff you're going to see here, the people that like me on Facebook have already gotten previews of it, so I apologize to you guys. There are a couple things in there that you haven't seen, but for the most part it was all on there. If you don't like me on Facebook, you should check that out, because I do post a couple of things on there that don't make it to my YouTube channel. For instance, my opinion on the Lucasfilm purchase by Disney. I'm not ever going to do a video on that because it's just too personal. I don't want to cry on camera. I have a bunch of non-game related pickups this week, and I know that not everybody likes those, so what I'll do is before I start talking about those, I will put a subtitle in here, and hopefully that subtitle will list a time that you can skip to avoid the non-game related pickups. So, here we go. Non-game related pickups. I was at the Volunteers of America in Mansfield, Ohio, and I don't mind telling you that because the people in Mansfield don't have internet, so they don't watch my channel. Dazzle DVD creator thing. I don't know what you call these. The generic term for something that plugs into your computer via USB so you can upload video. What is that? Video capture device, I guess. It is not the HD version, but that really doesn't matter to me because I do old school video games, and this has S-Video and AV, and pretty much everything I have outputs in either S-Video or AV, so not a big deal. The reason I bought this is because the Sabrent one that I have, that I got for $1 at a Goodwill, it works great on my Windows 7 laptops, but it won't work on this computer, which is Windows XP, which will be irrelevant soon. But at the time that I bought this, it was not irrelevant. And it's $6.99 is what it's marked. It actually ended up being 50% off because yellow was 50% off, so $3.49. When I opened it up, not only did I find the manual and drivers for the Dazzle, I also found in there a Roxio Easy VHS to DVD thing. So basically Roxio's version of the Dazzle. And as you can see there, it came with the drivers for that as well. So 2 for the price of less than 1. Who can beat that? I don't need 3 of them, but I'm assuming that one of them is not going to work. So, I don't know, having 2, not all bad. Maybe I'll give it to my little brother or somebody else that needs it if they all work. So, yeah, there's that. And then I was at the Half Price Books that's in one of the suburbs of Cleveland. I don't know, it's between Maple Heights and Highland Heights, 2 of my stops. So I drive by it every week, and they haven't had Laserdiscs in ages. But I stopped in there the other day, and somebody had just traded in their entire collection. Since they had so many of them, they priced them at $1 a piece, and I picked up a bunch of them. They are old horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy, I think there's a western in there. I can't remember what all is in here, but we'll go through them together. So, here we go. First one is Crime and Punishment, starring Peter Lorre. Next we have Dementia 13 by Francis Ford Coppola. Touch of Evil. A Hammer film that I didn't even know existed. I had never heard of The Abominable Snowman by Hammer Corporation, Hammer Studios. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully I'll remember to edit that out. Ed Wood. Ah, yes. Dirty Harry. I forgot about that one. Peter Lorre in The Beast with Five Fingers. 1970s remake of Nosferatu, which I've seen the original. Didn't understand a damn word they were saying. I don't know about this one, though. 1970s color remake. I don't know. I've heard good things, but I've never seen it. We'll see. Another Hammer film. Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Mars Attacks. The Howling. Movie that I've heard of before, but had no idea what it was about, called Time After Time. And if I read on here, it's about H.G. Wells being chased through time by, I don't know, Jack the Ripper? Some killer. Could be interesting. Solaris, and I've never seen the George Clooney version because it looked too freaking boring. But this one looks like it could actually be interesting, so we'll find out. Double feature here. Black Sunday and Black Sabbath, starring Boris Karloff. Another double feature. Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned. The Old Dark House, which I've never heard of, but it stars Boris Karloff, so can't be too terrible. A comedy horror called The Fearless Vampire Killers. Ooh, I was really excited to see this one. Forgot this was in here. Jason and the Argonauts. I absolutely love Ray Harryhausen, as I'm sure many people do. So when I saw this one, I thought, well, this came out of one person's collection. Maybe there's more Ray Harryhausen films in there. I went through them 3 different times and couldn't find them. So either somebody else went through and picked a few out, or this guy just only had one Ray Harryhausen movie. Well, it's not a Ray Harryhausen movie. It was directed by somebody else, but he did the effects, which are awesome. Matinee. And this one is awesome. Check this out. A Fistful of Dollars. Tell me that doesn't look like a video game cover right there, Atari. Okay, I think that's it. That is it for the non-game related pickups, except for 1 or 2 items, which you'll understand why I show you those. So there we go. We're going to move on to gaming related pickups, and I'm going to cut here to move some of this crap out of my way. Welcome back to those of you that didn't watch the non-gaming related pickups. It is time for the gaming related pickups, so here you go. Actually, no. Before I do that, I want to mention, here it is in the drawer, the winner of my mystery gift card contest, or GameStop Sucks mystery gift card contest, I think is what I called it, is Kit171. You won by 3 votes, Mike, so congratulations. This is yours, however much it's worth. Send me your address in a PM because I've lost it. So, well, actually, I probably didn't lose it. I could probably find it if I wanted to look, but I don't want to look. It's just easier for me if you send me an address. So send it to me, and I will ship this out to you this week. That is a good segue to this here. I actually pre-ordered something at GameStop, and I know when I made the mystery gift card contest video that I said there was nothing at GameStop that I wanted, and that was true at the time, but it turns out it is my best option for a pre-order of the Neo Geo X Gold. And I'm surprised at how many people don't know what this thing is, but for those of you that don't know, it is an official SNK handheld release. And it comes preloaded with 20 games, and the games include games like Metal Slug and Last Resort and a whole bunch of other really good ones. It comes with an SD card slot so that you can actually purchase future games, which I'll talk more about in a second. They'll actually come on SD cards, and you can plug them in and play them, as well as, I'm sure, other things that you'll find to do with it. It has a USB connection so that you can plug it into your computer for downloads and whatnot. Let's see, what else can I tell you about it? It's about the same size, looks like a little bit bigger than a PSP, and I looked up stats on it. It is significantly more powerful than the PSP 3000, but a little bit less powerful than the PS Vita, from what I can tell. I think I said it had a 1 gigahertz processor and 256 megs of RAM. The screen size is the same as the PS Vita, although the resolution isn't quite as good, but it is better than the PSP 3000. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's closer to the Vita than it is the PSP 3000. What else can I tell you about it? The thumb switch on it is a micro switch thumbstick, very similar to that on the Neo Geo Pocket, from what I can tell, because I haven't held one yet. And the really cool thing about it is that's the Neo Geo X. It's the handheld. If you get the Neo Geo X Gold package, it comes with 2 additional things. It comes with a controller that looks almost exactly like the Neo Geo AES controller, that big square gray thing. Has micro switch joystick and micro switch buttons. Looks like it plugs into a base unit with a USB connector is what it looks like to me, or maybe it's wireless. I don't know for sure. But in any case, the other thing that comes with it is a base unit, which looks like a smaller Neo Geo AES console, and you can plug the handheld into it to play games on your television. It connects to your television using either an HDMI cable or AV, and in any case, the thing is just really cool. And if you pre-order it now, limited supplies, they have a limited edition that comes with the the Ninja Masters game card, which is one of the SD cards I was talking about, with a game preloaded on it. So it's the first game card to be released, and it'll come with the limited edition that you have to pre-order. So that is why I bought it from GameStop. It is really cool. I certainly plan on supporting it, because what I'm hoping is that since it's an official SNK release, if it is successful, other game companies will look at it and say, hey, let's follow this model. Like Nintendo, for instance, could release a modern version of the NES, like a small imitation NES that has, controllers, and you can either direct download games, or my preference would be buy modern cards to slide into it and play. I mean, think about that for a second. Instead of having to pay somebody, 100 different people to work on a game for several months, to load onto the Nintendo Wii, you could pay 1 or 2 people, for a couple of months to make an 8-bit game that people would buy anyway. So the cost of making the games would be much cheaper, and I'm sure people will buy them. Whatever. Yeah, that is that. The Neo Geo X Gold limited edition. I'm buying it, and I think you should too, if you can afford it, obviously. I'm not sure where to go with this yet, so I think I'll go with the pickups for the week. I'm not going to go in chronological order. I'm going to go in just the order that they're sitting here. First, I picked up a couple PlayStation games, and they were $2 a piece. I picked up Mortal Kombat 3, no manual, sadly, but it's the long box edition. And I picked up Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and it is in exceptionally good condition, man. Normally you get these PlayStation games, and they're like all scratched up. This one is clean as can be. So, 2 PlayStation games. Yes, I keep saying I'm going to stop buying PlayStation games, but then I keep seeing games that look interesting to me. I got some Sega Genesis games for, what was this? $2.50. I got Thunder Fox, which looks like a terrible game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it does not look good. Anybody that's played it, let me know if it's otherwise. And then I went to the, what the heck is it called? Southside Flea Market in Akron, Ohio. And I was walking through, and I hope I didn't mention this on a previous video. I don't think I did. I think I got it last Friday, which means it wasn't on that video. Anyway, I was walking through, and I come across an old guy that has some Genesis games. And he had, I was going to pull him down. Maybe I'm not going to pull him down. Whatever the Pac-Man game is on the Genesis, I've got it up here somewhere. I can't remember what it's called. But he had that, and he had Sonic 2, and then he had these 2 other games. I asked him how much he wanted for the Genesis games. They were all complete. He says $10 a piece. I say, will you give me 2 for $15? He says yes. So I picked these 2. Castlevania Bloodlines complete and Master of Monsters complete. And for those of you that don't know what Masters of Monsters is, it is like the 4th rarest game for the Sega Genesis. So getting that for $7.50 is cool. Okay, those are the games that I picked up for the week. That would have pretty much been the pickup video. Except on Tuesday night, my brother-in-law called me and said, hey, Ed, I got a whole bunch of junk here. If you want it, you can have it. And I said, well, what kind of junk, Michael? And he says, I got a whole bunch of electronics and video game stuff. And if you want it, it's all yours. So, of course, I stopped by on the way home, checked it out, and that's exactly what he had. A whole bunch of electronic stuff. And he's just going to throw it away. He tried to give me a couple of televisions, and I just don't have room for them. There was like a 19-inch and a 27-inch. There were 2 desktop computers from like the middle 2000s. One was like 2005 and one was 2008. Those will play a part in a future video maybe. Might have something to do with my crappy computer. And then he had some video game systems. So I'm going to show you well, I got a bunch of stuff here in this great big box that you can't see off camera. The only thing I'm going to show you out of it is this here. It is a Maxtor external 300 gigabyte hard drive. It's the One Touch series. I think the One Touch 2. And you'll know why I showed you that in a second. Then there were some video game systems. The first one I'm going to show you here is a Super Nintendo, which is absolutely filthy. I don't want it, but I got this for my friend Cortland. He doesn't have one. I don't know how they did that, but they broke the back of it. I tested it. It does, in fact, work. So that's going to go to court. Then I got a Nintendo 64 here. Did I call that a Nintendo 64? That thing that I just showed you was a Super Nintendo. This is the Nintendo 64. It is missing the cover for the expansion pack there, but as you can see, it has the expansion pack. And I'm going to take this out and put it into one of the ones that I have that has the door that's in a little bit better condition. And I'll just put the jumper pack in here. So I don't know why I told you all that, but yeah, here you go. That's this. I got a Sega Dreamcast that is a little bit dirty, but it does work, and you can't really tell. I cleaned most of it off, but it is definitely yellowed. That's going to go to my little brother Jimmy. And let's see here. That Dreamcast had a couple of games with it. Had NFL 2K2, and then it had this generic disc with what I thought was just Hydro Thunder, but when I actually looked, there was the Hydro Thunder disc, which is, by the way, a cool game that I don't have. Well, I have it, but my nephew Cody has it, so I'll never see it again. I don't know if you even watch these videos, Cody, but if you do, I'd really like to have those video games back someday. Worms Armageddon was the other one, which is really cool because this is another one that I had at one point. My nephew Cody doesn't have it, but I did lose it. I don't know where it went. So very happy to have those games in my collection again. Cody. All right. What else do I have in here? Oh, yes, there is one more thing. And again, the nice folks that subscribe to me on Facebook have already seen this. But there is a power supply and some cables here. And I have one wireless controller. and a second wireless controller, and they go to this Xbox 360. This is the model that came out in 2008. It does have the little 20 gigabyte hard drive on top. This belonged to my nephew Jacob. And when I went to pick this thing up, or when I went to pick this stuff up, I saw this sitting there, and I said, "Are you sure you want to give that away?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to throw it out. It has the red ring of death." Well, as some of you may or may not know, the red ring of death is, in most cases, a fairly easy thing to fix. I'm pretty certain that this is the heatsink issue, so I should be able to fix this pretty quickly. It belonged to my nephew. When it went red ring, he just went out and bought a new one because he's that type of person. He didn't even glance twice at it. He told his dad he could just throw it away, so it is now in my house. And the really neat thing is, that hard drive that I showed you earlier, I believe that this is the hard drive my nephew bought to load games and movies onto. So I'm hoping when I get this hooked up to this, it'll have a whole bunch of games and movies on it. There were also a couple of games that came with this. I gave them to my niece. So yeah, apparently I've moved into this current console generation with an Xbox 360. I don't actually plan on playing Xbox 360 games. My goal with this is to, it's going to piss some of you off, watch Netflix videos and maybe play some compilation video games on it. So I don't know. We'll see what this thing can do when I get it working. Maybe I'll decide to sell it. I don't know. So that is pretty much it. I think I have shown you everything I got this week. That was an awful lot. Let me know. I don't know. If anybody's interested in seeing the video on how to fix the Xbox 360 with the heatsink problem, let me know. I can make one. I wasn't going to. I actually did some research on it, and I looked up an Instructables thing. If you don't know what Instructables is, it's a web page where they teach you how to do things. And they had some really interesting ideas, but they were kind of flawed, the one that I read, or the couple that I read. I come up with one that's a little bit different. I don't know. There's about 700 videos on YouTube, so you can go watch one of those if you don't know how to do it. If you'd like to see me do it just because, maybe I'll do it someday, or I can just film it while I'm doing it. Who knows? Also, my computer is a piece of crap, and it's slowly falling apart. And I've had it now for almost 5 years. I built it all those years ago, and I think the motherboard is going bad because first, what was the first thing I started having? Oh yeah, my RAM slots. I had 8 gigs of RAM in here. I am now down to where it only recognizes one slot, so I've got 2 gigs of RAM effectively is all this computer is running on because the other 3 slots don't work. Then a few weeks later, I started having problems with my USB ports. Only one USB port works. So I had to go out and buy, well, I can't pull it over here to show you, but I had to go out and buy a cheap USB port so that I could plug all my USB crap into it, including the webcam. And then a couple weeks after that, I started getting the blue screen where it's a random error. I forget what it is, but I think it's the motherboard going bad and whatever. It doesn't work. So I'm going to put together a new computer. Didn't go out and buy all new parts. I've got old parts that I'm going to use. And if you guys want to see how to put together a computer, let me know. I can film that too. I really don't care. Whatever you want to do. Now, last thing on the agenda here. I'm not going to be doing any more pickup videos because of the the Neo Geo X Gold and having to fix my computer. I have no more discretionary income until after Christmas. Hopefully I can take the time that I'm not posting pickup videos to sell off the entire table load of crap I have over there. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, all that stuff over there. There is just a ton of game systems. You can see the boxes in the corner, the boxes under the ping pong table. Let's see, that blue tote there is filled, and I'm not kidding you, with at least 10 game systems I got to sell off, plus the stuff on the table. I've got, an Atari Jaguar with 2 controllers and Cybermorph. I've got several Super Nintendos, Sega Saturn with the fight stick and 2 controllers and a bunch of games, PlayStations galore. I've got so much crap I got to get rid of. So I'm going to hopefully sell off that stuff during the Christmas season. So instead of spending money, maybe I can make some money, get enough money to finish paying off the Neo Geo X Gold, and maybe pay off some bills. Even though normally I keep my video game money segregated from my real life money, I'll use some of it to pay off bills. Whatever. You guys don't care about any of that. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, you're a trooper. Now, I stopped at the half price. God, I'm spitting all over the place. Hold on a second. See, I take decongestants so that I can breathe through my nose, and all they really do is make my mouth dry. And check this out. I found little cans of the Arnold Palmer half and half tea. Only problem with these is I can finish these in about 3 swallows. I opened this can. I've taken 2 drinks out of it. There's 3, and I might have 1 more in there. I go through them so fast. They're terrible. Good thing they're light. Okay, where was I at? Laserdisc. Front load most of those so you don't have to watch them. Not that one. Not that one. I don't know. I've got like 4 phones, so it's one of them. We'll just ignore that. I don't even know if you can hear that. We'll see. So, anyway, where did I leave off? Yeah, I'm going to leave a subtitle down here so you can skip past all the non-gamer related pickups. And there may end up being a few jump cuts strewn in here. And that's not just because I want to be... God damn, it's going to drive me crazy. Shut up! Hold on a second. I have to ferret this out. Problem solved.